Can you imagine retiring in your 30s? Well, a Toronto couple has done just that, and with more than $1 million in the bank because they rejected the dream of home ownership and opted to rent instead. But is this really that easy? We got our finance guy, Preet Banerjee, here to weigh in on this. Preet, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, the deal is with this couple, and this story has gone viral online over the last couple of days. It's been trending, is that they had $500,000. Instead of slapping that on a home in the very expensive Toronto real estate market, they invested instead. But a lot of folks are saying if you got $500,000 to invest, you're pretty much on your way to being rich already, right?
Yes, I think that was the actual secret. So rejecting the home ownership cult, a lot of people are sort of getting on that train as well. But for this couple, I mean, they had saved up $500,000 by the time they were in their late 20s. That's pretty abnormal.
Sure.
That is amazing. So they invest that $500,000. And by the way, I have a paper and a pen just to take notes.
Sure.
Because I want to be on some kind of freedom something plan too. A little earlier.
I'm on Freedom 85 actually right now. I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay, so for them to have, they have to put it, it's still in a fairly aggressive fund for them to have made their $500,000 turn into $1 million over.
Well, there was a clarification to the story. So yes, they turned that $500,000 into $1 million, but not all of it was the investment growth. So this couple was putting away over $100,000 a year into that portfolio as well during that time. So part of it is contribution and part of it is growth. So they didn't even use a crazy aggressive investment strategy. It was actually a balanced portfolio, which anyone can do.
Okay, so it wasn't overly risky, but I guess the big question is whether you got $500,000, $50,000, $5,000, is your best investment long-term? Is it the market or is it a home? Because so many people have always thought real estate, the home, is where to put your money.
So the previous generation, housing worked out really well for them. So there is a lot of pressure from parents to kids saying, listen, you should buy a house. You're not an adult until you buy a house. But things are a lot different now. We've been in a 25-year secular bull market in housing in Toronto and Vancouver. So for these locations, you have to think, what is the price increase going to be from this point versus other types of investments? And that's what this couple did, and they decided that it was better put into the markets.
Now, there's also the story, and I don't know if you've heard about this guy, the 30-year-old who paid off his house.
Oh, I know him, yeah, Sean Cooper.
And is he still looking for a lady? Because he was.
I don't know him that well.
He paid off his house, and then he was looking for love. He's like, look.
Are you on the market?
No, I'm actually not. But that would be, man, that would be enticing. Trust me, financial.
Forget your interests, your hobbies, or whatever. Are you set up?
I
Okay,
can put you in touch with him if you like.
I tell you, I see my financial advisor more than my friends because I'm very, very focused on paying down the mortgage.
Right.
Anytime I have spare change, I go and see her and I say, put it against the house.
Well, we should back up and say Sean, what he did was he basically didn't live for 3 years, right? He just did everything he could, put all of his resources into his home, paid that mortgage off as quickly as he could, right?
And the commonality between Sean and this couple is that they were very determined and they lived very frugally. So, you know, their situations aren't completely unique in terms of their income and living lifestyle, but what they chose to do was live well within their means. And everyone can do that. But the natural tendency is to live right at our means. So if you give the average person a $5,000 raise, they've figured out how that's going to be spent in about 60 seconds flat, right? That's the mentality. But if you say, you know what, let's focus on spending as little as possible and banking the rest like these people did, hard to do, but if you have the determination, you can do it.
You say well within your means. I think these people, Sean, for example, I think was living well below his means. I mean, he was like literally eating craft dinner at night, right? Well, he wasn't going out to restaurants.
When he clocked a ton of hours. I think he said he was working 80 to 100
I think he was working 3 jobs. He also rented out half the house, so he had income from the house as well.
Short-term pain, long-term gain.
Is he still looking this attractive, though?
I wasn't with him for those 3 years. You know, he worked hard. Those 3 years, he really grinded it out.
You just want to be there for the glory, right? Okay.
But back to that lump sum, to get ahead, you need to do that. You mentioned that $5,000 raise. Don't spend it all at once. Go call the financial advisor and say, hey.
It's very interesting, you know, when you graduate school, you're maybe earning $20,000, $30,000, and you're spending $20,000, $30,000. And if you're like me, you're thinking, you know what, 10 years down the road, when I'm making 80 grand like other people in the office who are senior to me, I'm just going to bank 50 grand and keep living the way that I do. That never happens. People don't do that, right? As soon as they get a raise, they start to spend a little bit more.
Okay, so bottom line here, just in our final minute, what this couple in Toronto did, instead of buying a home and renting and then investing, is that really kind of the new key to early financial freedom?
I don't know if that would be the key. The key is to, again, live well below your means, right? Instead of spending every dollar that comes in the door, you have to have a budget and think about the future, all right? Personal finance is all about trade-offs.
Yeah.
And you know what? Something in expensive markets,
Yeah.
not, I mean, maybe not a bad idea.
I'm a renter. Full disclosure. So, you know, I live in Toronto. I looked at the prices in the condo that I'm living in, and I looked at the rent. And when I did the comparison, to me, it was pretty clear that renting made a lot of sense at this point in time if you have the discipline to invest, which not a lot of people do.
Okay, that's really interesting from you. So was that a big paradigm shift, by the way, getting past that, like, as you said earlier, I'm an adult, I need to own a home, I need to own property?
I'm very dispassionate about the numbers. I just look and see what makes sense, and then I go with that.
Maybe when the bubble bursts, you jump in.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Preet Banerjee, Preet, great to see you as always, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.